Hello everyone, and welcome to my review of Chainsaw Man Chapter 77. Now, while last week's chapter was one of those Chainsaw Man chapters where you're going, okay, what the fuck is going on? Someone please tell me. This is one of those other chapters. Like the chapter where Himeno died, or the chapter where Reze died, maybe, or the chapter where Beam and Violence died. Except no one actually died this chapter. At least, not on screen. Actually, no, they died last chapter. But there is implied death. Death of character and maybe getting killed in the future. Um, so anyway, we go back to where we ended off last time with someone ringing the doorbell a lot, and then Power's woken up by it because it's really fucking obnoxious, and then the phone starts ringing, and when Power asks him if he's going to answer the door, he's like, yeah, give me a minute, don't open the door. And he answers the phone, and it's Makima. And she asks him if he's seen the news, and she says that the Gun Devil appeared, and they defeated it, or they failed to defeat it, and it took over a dead body and got away. And that the Gun Fiend is now ringing their doorbell. So this is the Gun Fiend. This is a piece of the Gun Devil that possessed a dead body. We should also make note of the fact that this all happened off screen. We had like Makima summoning all of the contract devils. I think that's what was happening. And then we flashed over to here. So basically, if this goes the way that Makima is claiming it went, which I have a feeling it maybe didn't, she basically off-screened the Gun Devil, which is fucking nuts, but she didn't kill it hard enough to stop it from taking over a dead body, which is now at their door. Why is it there? Well, assuming Makima's not a fucking liar, which, I mean, I don't know. It's because Denji's there, and we know that the Gun Devil probably has beef with the Chainsaw Devil. So, of course, it's going to go right to him and try to kill him. So, Denji thinks that she's joking, and she doesn't answer. And he says, well, you can count on me. Good thing you came to us instead of us having to go to him and saved on travel fare. And then she says, don't think about anything while you're fighting, which is super ominous. And then she, like, hangs up or whatever. Power asks what's going on, why can't we open the door? And he says, oh right, Makima says the Gun Fiend is here. Power's like, that you're fucking talking bullshit. And he's like, no, really. Makima said it, and Power's like, no, you're being an idiot. Remember, Aki didn't come home, so he's the one ringing the doorbell, right? And then she like calls out and says, that's you, right, Aki? And then there's no response, and the ringing on the doorbell stops. And you get like a page and a half with no dialogue, no sound effects, nothing like that. You have just the folded clothes, the clean dishes, Nyako's staring at the door, like, you know, when your cat's stopping and they like stare off at something and you're like, what are you looking at? And Denji's looking the same way too. And then he says, Power, take the cat and jump off the balcony. Get the fuck out of here. So they go. And then Denji starts walking towards the door. He says it's just in case. There's no way some stupid gun guy would bother to come greet me, right? And he says, Miss Makima's playing a prank, right, Aki? And he opens the door. And it's Aki with a pistol sticking out of his head and his missing left arm replaced by like a... is that like an M4 or an M16? I'm really not that versed in guns. I'm only kind of familiar with the really prominent ones. And he's like, oh, she's serious. Oh, this is for real, gotcha. So do we fight? And then Aki calls out to Denji, and he's pointing his gun arm at him. And we see that in Aki's head, he's in the forest, or he's on like a trail with trees along it. in the wintertime. And this is a younger Aki. And if you remember, this is where Aki was back when the Gun Devil first attacked and he lost his whole family. He's calling to Denji. And then he picks up a snowball and he's like, oh, it's a snowball fight. And then he starts shooting Denji. Like, he fucking shoots Denji in half. This is a double page spread, by the way. Like, it's divided in half to show, like, him blowing through all the doors in the house. Like, the impact of this shot obliterates the apartment and sends Denji outside. And we see that Denji, like, has his guts spilled out all over the ground. And he's telling Power to hide. And it actually was the gun fiend. And Power says that's not possible because it was Aki sent in the entranceway. Just don't lie to me right now. And we see Aki leaping through the big hole we just put in the side of the building. He comes down, shooting at them. And the last panel we see is Denji in his chainsaw form trying to protect Power and Yako from Aki. So this chapter kind of fucking hurts a lot because, you know, we did in fact see last chapter that Aki died. Like, his name was there on the list of casualties. And then, I guess he's a fiend now, though there is a distinct possibility of what could happen here. So, remember in the very first chapter that Denji died. Like, there was no way around it. Like, he got cut up into a dozen pieces, and then Pochita merged with him and he became the Chainsaw Hybrid, right? So, in this case, Aki died. And it seems like the Gun Devil seemed to have replaced his arm, I guess, and has brought him back to life, because he still recognizes Denji, and we can see, like, his internal perspective of him, like, as a kid before he lost his family, or I guess it could have been right after he lost his family, because he was outside, and he was all by himself. So, it's possible that he's actually a hybrid now, which I know a lot of people were theorizing that Makima was going to turn Aki into the gun hybrid, as when he was going to Makima to try and get help to change his fate or whatever, and she was like, all right, swear a contract to me, and I'll give you the power to make sure that Denji and Aki, or not Denji and Aki, Denji and Power basically just get to live happy ever after. And it seems, possibly, that the way she did that was by having the Gun Devil come. I mean, she didn't necessarily make the Gun Devil come directly, but her actions had provoked the President of the United States to summon the Gun Devil, whatever. She probably knew that was going to happen somehow. And she used that as an opportunity to make Aki the gun hybrid. And what will probably happen, if I had to guess, well, there are two distinct possibilities. He's not a hybrid, and he's actually a fiend, and Denji is going to kill Aki. And this will be the terrible way that Aki dies, that the Future Devil predicted, is him trying to kill the two people that he wanted to protect when it's completely out of his control. The other alternative is that he gets it under control and he's actually a hybrid now, and then we see that the other hybrids are alive, and this is like Makima's special team or whatever for the Gun Devil expedition or whatever, even though we just saw the Gun Devil. I guess, like, we've already seen the Gun Devil, but it was only like the 20% that the US had. So are they still going to go and try and get it from the other countries? Would that be, like, what the arc after this? Because I guess this is the start of a new arc, because whenever a new hybrid shows up, we get, like, a whole arc around it. I guess that could be what we have after, and you have, like, the whole team of hybrids who are probably being fucking brainwashed by Makima or something, because most of them do not like her, probably would not want to work with her willingly. So I guess we'll see what happened with that. It would just, when you don't consider the possibility that Aki gets out of this, and knowing how Chainsaw Man kills off characters. I mean, it could very well happen. This could be, we could be witnessing the last moments of Aki here. That's a very distinct possibility. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I do Chainsaw Man reviews every week. If you enjoy other series like Record of Ragnarok, Jujutsu Kaisen, Kengan Omega, and Bleach, I do videos on those series as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.